Shall we begin? My name is Yuto Mori. I'm going to be talking about longevity, and I'm going to mention how to extend human life beyond 100 years old. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to ask. First of all, I'll explain what is longevity. The meaning of longevity is long life or the long time that something lasts, according to Longman English Dictionary. In this presentation, I define longevity like this. Alright then, let's move on to the main subject of the presentation. This is a brief outline of my presentation. I'll be talking about three main ideas. Firstly, I'd like to introduce concrete examples about longevity. Secondly, I'll discuss common points from examples. Finally, I'll tell you about solution with IT. First of all, let me introduce concrete examples about longevity. I will introduce two people in this section. But before that, I'm going to introduce blue zones. Blue zones are places around the world where many people live longer and they are active past the age of 100 years. To take examples of blue zones, Sardinia in Italy, Okinawa in Japan, Loma Linda in California, and Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica. Also, I am Japanese. I didn't know that Okinawa belongs to blue zones. Therefore, I am going to introduce Sardinia's lifestyle and Okinawa's lifestyle. Let's see from the lifestyle of Sardinia. Sardinia is the second largest island in the Mediterranean Sea and belongs to Italy. Then, this island is about 125 miles away from the mainland of Italy. As you can see in the picture on the right, this island is a terrain with many height differences. Thus, it may be said that it is a light exercise just by going shopping. Next, I'd like to talk about Sardinia's eating habits. They eat pecorino cheese, which is traditional food. This food is made of milk of sheep kept on this island, and it is said that this food promotes longevity. Then, the staple food is vegetable food such as bread. To my surprise, they eat meat only on Sundays and special days. In addition, there is wine called Cardinal. Most of them drink 1 or 2 glasses of wine every day. Alcohol has not good image to longevity, so I didn't expect that. Next, I'd like to talk about Sardinia's culture. They go to work with a motorcycle at age 100 years old. Then, they go out frequently and work. In addition, because longevity has abundant knowledge, they are very respected by young people. Let's move on to Okinawa. Okinawa is a prefecture that is the westernmost in Japan. It is famous for its subtropical climate despite its prefecture in Japan. This time, I will introduce you from culture. Okinawa's culture has a thing called moai, which is drawing attention in the world. This picture is the actual moai. To put it briefly, moai is a drinking party done in a group. Everyone will think that this is not good rather than good for longevity. Next, let's introduce unusual rules of this drinking party. It is held monthly, and members to attend will not change for a long time. Then, it collects a certain of money from everyone at the time of holding. And a different person receives that amount every time. The lateral connection becomes stronger by 2 rules. Also, I don't think that bonds with friends tied by money are a good match. It is drawing attention in the world. Next, I am going to introduce Okinawa's eating habits. People in Okinawa were taking more vegetables than other prefectures in Japan. The reason why it is past tense is the previous story to be chosen as the blue zones. In fact, Nagano Prefecture is the biggest consumer of vegetable in the 2010 data, and according to recent dates, the prefecture with the longest average life expectancy in Japan is Nagano Prefecture. One of the reasons for this recent change in the dietary habits of Okinawa is said to be westernization of food. Now, I'd like to move on to the next subject. Let's find the secrets of longevity that you can discover from the previous subject. Speaking in Japanese, it is Senjin no chie. If it is translated into English, it can be said that it is the wisdom of people in the past. In the beginning, let's see the common points between these two examples. Looking at these two examples, the most attention thing is eating habits. I think that this is the most important thing for longevity. In Sardinia in Italy, they limit the eating of meat depending on the day. Also, people in Okinawa used to eat much vegetables. For these reasons, it would be better to change the food from vegetable sources than food products produced by animals. Then, as you guessed, exercise is still essential for longevity, or some kind of activities are necessary. Then, alcohol, which is thought not to be good for the health, is also good for health if it is adequate. The reason for this seems to be that stress is reduced by drinking alcohol. Let's drink a reasonable amount of alcohol if everyone wants to live longer. Finally, the elderly who live in the blue zones has strong communication with others. No one can live by and for himself. In conclusion, the secrets of longevity are food from vegetable sources, exercise, reduced stress, and communication. However, you actually know such things. In fact, with this accumulation, they are keeping longevity. Next, I'd like to talk about solution with information technology. There are two ways to utilize IT. Firstly, it is ways to support longevity with IT. Secondly, it is ways to change the concept of longevity utilize IT. Let's move on to ways to support longevity with IT. I think that IT will promote longevity. A good example of that would be a wearable device. It has functions that can measure heart rate, sleeping time, and so on. However, it would not be easy to live over 100 years alone with this. This is what I would like to introduce most in this presentation, since there is no reliable basics for the contents from here. Please listen to an interesting story. In the first place, humans are not made to live over 100 years old. It is because that human breeding system will become strange. Then, the world food and mining resources are limited, so what should we do? The answer is to live in the virtual world. According to neuroscientists, 99.9% of the brain is mechanically moving. So, in theory, it is also possible to convert the brain into data. I think that the virtual world is most effective for all human beings to live over 100 years old. However, it will be the story after 2045 that such a world is born. We are coming to the end of today's presentation. Let me just summarize the main issues. Firstly, I confirmed the lifestyle of longevity. Secondly, I found secrets from the common points of longevity. Lastly, I showed the solution with IT. So, I'd like to propose that we have to repeat the secrets of longevity until the virtual world is formed in order to live 100 years old. I'd like to thank you all for your attention.